Yes, sir, Mr. Brenner, what can I do for you?
Okay, this project has been around for a while. It's been working during the COVID period of time. The operator felt that it had worked so well during that period of time, he wanted to make it a permanent situation. He appeared before your board, he got preliminary approval. He then went to the zoning board and got the variances which were required. You'll see from the thing that the zoning board did have one or two conditions in place. So really, we're here for final approval.
Okay, thank you. Let me go through the consultant's reports. Okay, Office of Building, Zoning, and Planning, Rick Oliver dated, where's the date on it? Oh, 6/5/25. He has 7 comments. Okay, couple of the comments, I just want to mention, is the ZBA has approved 28 seats, and you plan on 31, so that has to be corrected?
We will do what the ZBA requires, so therefore it will be 28 seats.
Okay.
Right.
And also ZBA has requirements on the renewal every year and also hours of operation.
That is correct.
Thank you. Okay, Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, June 9th, has 1 comment. The Bureau of Fire Prevention, May 23rd, has 1 comment. The Rockland County Department of Planning, May 28th. Have no comments, which I've never seen before, but that's good. Alfred Gaddy, June 9th, just has a letter. Based on our drawing provided, there may be gas conflicts with proposed work in regrading and digging is involved. Please contact O&R New Business Department for disconnects, reconnects. All notes for all gas facilities must be located prior to work. All code 753s must be followed. And I have a short EAF dated May 12th, 2025. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Andy, questions or comments?
Just a couple of questions. This area here where the green is, are those gonna be plants or planters or?
Yeah, we have,
Is that already
movable
there?
planters that, we have, just some nice basil growing, some herbs and things growing there to block out that.
So you have, you're allowed, the zoning said 28. and,
Correct.
You're not showing 28 here. You're showing less.
Yeah.
You got 2 tables of 4, 3 tables of 3, and 1 table of 5.
We're entitled to 28. Originally, one time we had 35. The zoning board said, no, we have to take it back. We will have no more than 28.
Okay. I was just wondering where the other seating was gonna be if we were gonna get 28. I don't have anything further.
Okay, thank you. Lisa, question, comment? Thank you. Mike, question, comments?
Yeah, just a couple of clarifications. Site, now, which, are we using, this is the site plan we're using for location? It was revised, March 8th of '23?
I believe so.
That's the one that was put in with the application.
Okay, all right, that's condition on that one. Page 1, you have to change 35 seats to 28.
That's correct.
Okay, and on page 2, as I look at it, you show 31 seats. That's gotta be corrected to 28.
That's gonna be changed again to 28.
Okay. And the other thing is on the hour of operations. See, the ZBA had, because you list, there's different dates. Okay, you originally list BB, it was gonna be 5 to 9, 37 days. If possible, open for lunch in June. Buildings Department number 5, it says Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 10, Sunday, 12 to 8, and Monday closed. And your project narrative says 12 to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. The final corrected number of days are gonna be,
Yeah, I could state that. So we're definitely closed on Mondays,
okay.
okay? And, we're doing 12 to 10 Saturday, 12 to 8 Sunday, and, we did 5 to 10 on Tuesday through Friday.
Tuesday was
Tuesday through
Yeah.
Saturday is 12 to 8.
12, yeah,
12 to
12,
10.
sorry, 12 to 10,
So
that's
this
it,
is
yeah.
the, all right, that's
Thank
the
you, sir.
final ones there, all right. Just wanted to clarify that. And you sure the EAF, this revised number, item number 2, put planning board and ZBA on there?
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise, anything?
I have no comments.
Okay. Mike, anything?
I think you answered all the questions about the seating issues there, and as long as you abide by the ZBA's,
Yes.
ruling, everything should be good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bruce, any questions or comments? Okay. Open it up to the public. Anybody from the public wish to speak?
Motion to open public portion. Mandel,
Second.
Mr. Andrews.
Okay.
Aye.
Anybody from the public wish to speak on this project? Again, anybody from the public wish to speak on this project? Okay, motion to close public?
Motion to close Mandel.
Second?
Andrews.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay. Motion for final with conditions?
Motion for final with conditions.
Okay, conditions are Office of Building and Zoning and Planning, May 5th, 25. Rick Oliver has 7 comments. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Town of Orangetown, June 9th, they have 1 comment. The Bureau of Fire Prevention, Town of Orangetown, May 23rd, is 1 comment. Rockland County Planning, Department of Planning, May 28th, has no comments. And,
I think we gotta
The
add
le-
the prior ones, don't we?
yeah, okay, the letter from Alfred Gaddy from O&R dated June 9th.
And
Okay,
then we
I don't
have,
think there's any prior, are there?
Yeah, there's, Spark Hill Palisades Fire District letter dated 5/5/25. Okay, email from Patrice Rao, okay, that's this is the Spark Hill Palisades Fire District letter, 5/5/25 with no objections. And a Rockland County Department of Planning, letter dated 4/2/25 with 8 comments.
Okay. Mhm.
You have that all yet, or?
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Okay, second.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Andrews, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good.
Thank you, board, I appreciate it, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He could,
Thanks, Dan.
fun.
Thank you.
All right.
Next item is Haggerty Home, major subdivision review, PB 25-30.
Have a seat.
Could we get everybody to sign in, please?
Where is the? The engineer. I don't know which one. I don't know which one they sent. I made it him anyway today, so don't worry about it. I'm really not mad at you, had to say something. I'm really not mad at you, had to
Did
say
everybody
something.
sign in?
I understand.
Did you throw something out?
Yeah, why don't you give her a copy of those things?
Oh.
If she has it.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Brenner, what can I help you
Okay,
with?
well, I think the board is aware of this particular situation. This was approved for a zone change by the town board of the town of Orangetown with certain modifications. We did make the modifications, the town board approved it. We subsequently had the engineers design the layout for the project. We think it's a good design. We have a little problem here, I'm just gonna put down for the record, okay? We are not getting timely answers to certain things. With the last minute, they're told, oh, you didn't supply this, you didn't supply that. It's really not true. We're having troubles with the consultants. I wish the town would take a look, the planning board, take a look with the consultants, because they've changed the whole ballgame. They demanded things be taken at the wrong time. We took it. The results of the proposal or the borings that we took turned out to be very favorable. So I just want the board to know, I don't think we're going to move along tonight, but we're very unhappy about it because we think we've done a good design. We know there's a lot of questions there, as you'll see when you read their comments, but they're all answerable, and they are not difficult questions to answer. If you want to make any kind of open statement, I think that's the way to start, and then we'll go in as we go through item by item.
For the record, my name's Stuart Stroh. I work for Civil Design Works. We're the engineer for the project. We designed the plans. Because it's a public hearing, maybe we'll just give a little bit of basic information. Property is 6.45 acres. The proposal is to subdivide this property into 14 lots. 13 of the lots will have new single-family residence built on them. One of the lots is to be dedicated to the town of Orangetown, and it will serve as the stormwater management facility for the project. The project proposes a new cul-de-sac to be constructed from Western Highway. There is a small amount of frontage on Ellsworth, where two of the new homes will derive their access from. We will construct a proper and a T turnaround at the end that is in compliance with Town of Orangetown regulations. Right now, it's somewhat of a temporary T that's there. That T was contemplated long ago in an original subdivision, and there's an area carved out for it in the lot already, so we will be building that. All of the houses will be served by new utilities. There will be a water main extension and a sewer main extension into the new cul-de-sac. I would be glad to answer any engineering-related questions or address the comments as the board may want.
Okay, let me go through the consultant's
Are you able
reports.
to put the plans up and so we can look at?
I didn't have them on a board. I wasn't sure how you were doing this now,
Well,
so,
you have a PDF?
We have our own individual maps, but
yeah.
No, you have a PDF, do you?
No, we don't.
Oh, you can't handle it? Oh, okay, all right.
No, we were talking about putting it up on the screen.
I thought it was going to be on the screen, because they used to put it on the wall in the old building, and I have a board, if you want to wait, I have a board in my car, which I could go and put together in a minute or two, if you would like. Okay.
Okay, let me go through the consultant's reports. The Office of Building, Zoning, and Planning, Rick Oliver, and I don't see a date on this.
The received date, June.
Okay, the receipt date to the town was June 9th, 2025, and he has 4 comments. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Town of Orangetown, June 9th.
He's got a history book.
Excuse me?
It's got a history book.
Yeah, Bruce usually does. 55 comments. I don't, it's not as if I don't trust you. Bureau of Fire Prevention, Town of Orangetown, May 23rd, they have 3 comments. Town of Orangetown, Office of Recreation and Park, dated May 20th. They have a letter pertaining to it. Booker Engineering, June 10th. Additional supporting information is required to demonstrate mitigation of potential significant adverse impacts as a result of increased stormwater runoff. We therefore recommend that Haggerty Homes major subdivision not be approved for drainage at this time. And they have 12 comments.
Please note the date on that letter, which we received. June 10th, and today's
Received,
June 11th. Right. You know, it's not fair. It's really not fair, because we work very hard to put these things together. We have worked very hard to get answers. And when you get a report like that, when you supply the information, and I'm not attacking the consultants because I have to live with them, but it's not fair to get an answer like that a day to the meeting. It's really not.
We concur with you on
Yeah.
this because we can't read it to the last minute also.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yep,
All right.
exactly. No, we understand your feeling. Rockland County Department of Planning, May 29th. They have 19 comments. I have a letter from Alfred Gaddy, June 9th. Based on the drawings provided, there should not be any gas conflicts with the proposed work. Okay. I have a letter dated June 4th, the Town of Orangetown ZBA consenting the Town of Orangetown Planning Board serve as lead agent. I have a letter, June 4th, Orangetown ZBA, no comments at this time. I have a letter from Caitlin Bettman to Audrey dated June 10th, pertaining to the project.
That's just,
Okay, I should have that, oh.
it's from Lappin's to,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. No, that's a different one. Okay. I have a letter dated June 10th also.
that's it.
From Verness Lappins. Okay. Oh, that was it, okay.
Okay. Well, it's-
And,
what's it
okay, I
called?
have the full AEF,
5-1 in first.
okay, 5/1/2025. I think that's it.
Oh,
That's all I have. That's enough. Anything else that you have? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Andy, questions or comments? No, this is on the subdivision, Andy.
Yeah, just a
Okay,
few.
so we're-
The utilities, they're all gonna be underground?
Yes.
You brought up the turnaround, the T.
Yes.
I noticed on one of your maps here, you show a driveway going to what looks to be like the original T that's there.
Yes.
Andy, do me a favor, turn your mic on, please.
Oh, sorry. The driveways are going to that original T. Now, that boundary that you have that's indented into the driveways there,
Sorry.
Yes.
is that gonna be part of the new T that you're gonna build?
The plan that you're looking at does not show the T to full town standards, so we're going to revise it, and the new T will be a little further into what is the north of the carve-out, but into our property. There is an existing driveway on each side right now.
Right.
We're going to do a little better survey of that area to make this clearer. We anticipate that the existing driveways will connect right before the T when we reconstruct it up to town standards.
So it's actually gonna come into your property?
Further into our property, yes,
So the two driveways that are there now existing
yes.
will be actually out of
With-
the existing T that's there?
Right. The existing T will be removed, and
Right.
they'll be almost at what I would call the neck of where
Where the new T would
wider
be.
T starts, right?
The other thing, I'm just looking at this, the house that's in the back there, the one,
Should have the-
lot number,
Have the lot number on it, we'll correct
yeah.
that.
lot number 8. Is it possible for you to bring the driveway from that lot out to the courtyard? And that would give you even a bigger T?
We're contemplating whether that T has to be expanded just a little bit to make the driveways a little better configured. There was a comment to that effect, I think, in Bruce Peters' letter. And we will consider that. We've been talking to the surveyor, and we'll consider that. So I think what you're talking about is almost creating a flag lot by bringing the driveway. Is that? I don't
Just enough room for a driveway, that's all.
And the,
If we'll look at it. I don't want to.
I mean, the way the properties come together there, you got 3 properties coming together there, I don't see why you couldn't just bring it right out to the courtyard, out to the.
We will consider
circle.
it. We'll consider it.
I mean, yeah, and that would definitely make the T a lot bigger, a lot more room for snow, if we ever get any more snow. But that's
Well,
question.
we'll get snow. We'll get it.
Oh, you believe the weatherman?
Oh, yeah, I
okay.
know.
I don't have anything further right now until after I hear from the public.
Lisa, questions or comments?
Okay. Yeah, so I have similar questions about the T and the driveways on Ellsworth. You know, one of the things when we first, this project came to us before it went back to the planning board, a few of us made significant comments about Ellsworth not being impacted at all by the building of these new houses. Ellsworth already is a very narrow street. School buses aren't allowed to drive down the street. The children have to walk up to the corner to get the bus. The driveways that are there in the T, you know, the T is part of the driveways
Right.
for the homes that are there. You know, I was there looking at the project today. I had my car parked on one side of the street. Another car could barely get by with my car there. So it is a very narrow street. So, you know, I don't know how far back the T is going to be, that you're going to be suggesting, like how many feet back from where the T is now.
Yeah, I can give you an answer, at least approximately.
Yeah.
From where it is now, it will be at least 20 feet further back. And
20 feet.
potentially more, but potentially a little more, but let's say approximately 20 feet.
20 feet. And right now, along the current driveways that are there, there's trees, there's buffers. What, are you planning on cutting those trees down, or what kind of buffer are you going to leave for the houses that are already there?
So we're going to get, like I said, we're going to get a better survey of that area, so I don't have all of that information on here. There is built into, from a previous subdivision, there's a conservation buffer that extends off of what we're calling the T, that has to remain. It's 15 feet wide.
So the buffer that's currently there has to remain.
It's on our property, and it's it's a legal buffer that has to remain. And if you look, we're not doing any work within that area. It's shown on page 2 as a dashed line. We
Yeah.
should label it a little more thoroughly
You
so
can
that
label
we
it.
don't have to flip back and forth, and we will.
Yeah, you know, again, Ellsworth, the street already is narrow. It's a difficult road to park, to drive on. Construction vehicles parking there are going to create a significant negative impact on the people that already live there. You know, potential fire hazards with fire trucks not being able to get down with the turnaround. So, you know, I'm, you know, agreeing here that, you know, if possible, if the 2 houses are going to be built there, that the driveways, you could come in off of the turnaround, off of Western Highway and Ellsworth, not be touched.
We are improving it with building a proper turnaround there, so to, you know, to balance this a little bit, if there's a concern of fire trucks, we are improving it to make it to sound standards, which it's currently not.
Right.
So there is an improvement there. And what you're asking somewhat contradicts one of the other comments in the letter from DEME, which actually suggests creating through road and changing the whole configuration. I wasn't involved with the zone change. I did read the documents. I recognize that this board expressed concern about it, but from what I was able to read, I wasn't exactly clear what the concern was. It was kind of just vague that you expressed concern about Ellsworth, so you've clarified that part of it, but I would point out it contradicts some of the recommendations from the town DEME.
No, that I know. We don't always agree with Bruce on things,
Okay,
but yeah.
good.
So,
I don't either.
all right, so that's my question about Ellsworth. What else? So Lot 1 and 2 encroach in the wetlands. I know I see Lot 1 is the area that you're going to leave for the town.
Yes.
but it's, you know, it's mentioned that, you know, both those lots encroach in the wetlands and don't leave a large enough required buffer, 100-foot buffer. So what's the plan to correct that?
So Lot 1 gets, is to be dedicated to the town. There's work proposed on Lot 1 is on the southerly side where the detention basin will be constructed. That's outside of the wetland. There's no disturbance proposed for the wetland other than an improvement to the existing condition of the drainage that discharges onto our property from Western Highway. So we are proposing to fix that pipe. It's collapsed. We're proposing to put a proper head wall and some protection there for erosion. But that's the only work that's proposed in that wetland. It's a small amount of work to repair an existing condition that's not been addressed for a long time. There was comment about the wetland itself and whether New York State DEC has jurisdiction over it. I think you're aware
Yep.
about the regulations that came into effect on January 1st.
Yes.
We submitted to the DEC for a determination as to whether it falls under their jurisdiction or not. That was submitted on March 15th. They have 90 days to reply. They take all 90 days. It should be coming in the next few days, so we'll know whether they have jurisdiction over it. They have a 100-foot buffer.
Right.
It's still federal wetland. Federal wetland does not have a 100-foot buffer. So we'll have to see what the New York State DEC says
Okay.
as far as the buffer.
Okay, I'd like to hear that too. Right now, I don't have other questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mike, questions or comments?
Yes. Yeah, that was item number 21 you were talking about with the new driveways going out on Ellsworth. Bruce Peters, number 21.
Yes. I don't know what number, but yes.
All right, we're still waiting to submit the SWIFT plan?
We submitted the SWIP, and it was submitted to the drainage consultant. It was a complete SWIP.
Was it also given it to DEME?
I believe it was given to DEME.
Because his number one says they haven't given him.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out what, and how that happened, but we did complete a full SWIP, and we understand that we have to. It's preliminary at this point, but it was a complete submittal other than forms that can't be signed until the project's approved.
Okay, DEME 2. Tell us about the lot small on Western Highway, include half of the area of the road widening. Therefore, the net area used for the calculations of lot size.
Okay, we have a situation there where we have to take that up with the town attorney's office. There's a legal matter here which has been brought to your attention. I am calling for a meeting with the town attorney's office to resolve legal questions that Mr. Peters is presenting. These are legal questions, and there is case law on that. So once we work it out with the town attorney, we'll have an answer for that. It's a good question, but it has to be answered by the town attorney's office. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right here already, number 7, the drainage easement running from the cul-de-sac, showing the plot needs to be revised and be dedicated to the town. Number 7.
Yeah, he wants, that's the access driveway to the
Right.
detention basin. He wants that dedicated to the town, so we will figure that out. If it's necessary, we'll have to do it.
All right, number 10, he's looking for a, as part of the drawing set, the existing conditions.
I saw that comment. Some of those things may in fact be shown on our survey, and we'll include them. I mean, he's actually asking for debris to be shown on the
Not
map.
debris, it's a certificate for, if you talk to him, it's not what he's looking for, he's not looking for debris.
It says multiple piles of stones, debris along the existing easement. So,
Stone walls.
you know,
Stone wall, that's
Yeah,
what it's.
stone wall, yeah.
It's not a pile, it was a stone wall, there is a stone wall.
okay, we'll show what is necessary to be shown.
Right, it's gotta be on a separate plot though, page.
On an existing conditions plan,
Yeah.
is what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay,
separate page,
and he's also asking for 1-foot contours, which I don't believe the town requires as part of their site plan regulations.
We'll discuss it with him, it's part of the, it would be necessary, I think, as part of the drainage plan.
I will respectfully disagree,
All right.
but
But discuss it with him, you know, he's the expert on that one. On the plans, the fire department made comments about the hydrants.
we'll show the hydrants.
And, you know, we have to know, it's gotta be any more than 600-foot run.
It's likely that we have to install a hydrant on the new cul-de-sac as part of the water main
We're
extension.
talking about the run, how the hoses drop,
Right.
not by how the bird flies.
Yeah,
okay?
I think it's likely that we'll be installing a hydrant.
That should be shown on the site plan. Now, plan, sheet number 3 on the plan, it lists trees on the property. I think it needs to be a plan that shows which ones are gonna be removed, and which ones are gonna remain. Because all it does is list them, and it doesn't tell you which ones are gonna be taken down. See in Rockland County number 14, they say to preserve the existing trees and plant new ones. So for the landscape plan, just at least showing the trees that are gonna be remain, which ones are gonna be removed.
We'll mark the ones to remain and designate all others, if not designated to remain, to be removed.
Even on the plans you have there, this next to the ones you're removing is what we've accepted in the past. Just make it as part of the legend on it. And I would say on that, you might as well put in the conservation easement, so it shows it there also. Now, going back to Weston Highway, it's gotta be, you gotta show the site distances from the driveways. Because there are some turns as we go along, but especially as you go, with lots 4, 11, 12, and 13, as you go along, the road does turn, and depending on what's being left there, what the site plan will be.
Yeah.
So it would give us, I think, a better idea of if it has to be changed or moved, because I think he says one of the driveways, he's looking to move a little bit. But,
I think he was talking about the driveway on lot number 4 being too close to the intersection.
right, that's what, Lieber Road, I think?
Yeah.
Intersection there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the one? Well, I'll make sure I understand which one he means.
Yeah, I think
I'll
the
look at
4
it.
is the furthest one going north, I think, if I'm remembering rightly. It was over there. Okay. All right, no further this time, and I'll ask if all additional questions be asked to public portion. Thank you.
Denise, anything?
Sure, so there's obviously. All right, so with lot 1, your intent is not to develop the wetland area. I guess, can it be clarified on your plan that how you're gonna access it to build the catch basin so that you won't be clearing or accessing anything from the wetland lot 1 area, or is that not the intent?
Yeah, the work on lot 1 is limited to the area right next to Western Highway. There's no other work proposed, within the wetland. There's no other work proposed. All of the other construction would be accessed from the north southerly portion of the site, but by necessity to fix that head wall and collapsed drainage pipe, we have to get in there, and the wetland almost touches the road there.
Gotcha, okay. All right, let me see. So on sheet 2, you have these dashed lines that show, they're called out as building envelope typical, and then they are much larger than what you have as proposed dwelling. Why is that?
On lot 2, it shows the allowable building envelopes, and we're showing that the dwellings are within them.
But your intent would be not to actually fill the full building envelope, just to,
That's just where you could put it.
okay,
And the houses that are shown on this plan are the exact, from architectural plans that we intend to build. Those are real houses that we intend to build.
okay. You mentioned the DCE findings, that you should be getting them soon, and that would define if it's a 100-foot buffer or not. If it is a federal wetland, what is the buffer?
Federal wetlands don't have a buffer.
Okay. And then I think one of the comments was the concern about the driveway. I'm kind of concerned they're not, again, the sightline's not called out, about the distance of the driveways. I guess it's lot 13, 12, as they kind of go to the intersection of Old Western Highway and Western Highway, right on the turn there.
Yes. Can I comment on those for a moment while you point that out? Because
Sure.
those, we spent some time thinking about those, and the best place, as you know, it's an odd kind of intersection there. And we tried to locate those two as far away from the actual intersection as we could on each side, so splitting them in that way was by intent. On some cases, on a more, a busier road, you want to kind of group them together to make one kind of access point. But in this case, it made more sense to separate them and keep them as far away from that intersection as we could.
Okay. And then just as you were talking about, like, the driveways or the access from Ellsworth Drive, it does look like, you know, if you kind of laid out the lots different, that you might be able to provide driveways to those lots from the cul-de-sac and not go down there at all. It might have to have a driveway directly in front of the house and not on the side. But, you know, there does look like there's potential to kind of reconfigure this so that you won't have to go on Ellsworth Drive at all.
Okay, and we will consider it. I'm not committing, we'll consider it. I do think that this plan reflects what was considered by the town board when they gave the zone change, and the lots were shown that way. So it does match very closely to what the town board approved as part of the zone change, but we will take your concern and comment at least under consideration.
Okay, that's all I had for now.
Okay, thank you. Mike, question, comments?
Yeah, a few comments. As you can tell from the consultant's letters, there's a lot of issues with these current plans. You know, Bruce Peters, has 55?
Yeah, if you want to go by accounting, that's true, but your own board mentioned that they don't always agree with him, and I expressed the same concern.
Yeah, so I usually stop reading after 25, and I realize there's some
I
issues.
I wish I could have. I had to read them all several times, but a lot of them are bookkeeping, a lot of them are, you know, he's telling us that we have to follow the stormwater regulations, which we know. So I think if you start kind of parsing them down to the meaningful ones, you know,
Yeah,
it's
just
more,
has a lot.
it's more
He
like a
mentions
handful than a
He mentions
bucketful.
the T, and there's some other stuff he mentions in there.
There were some significant ones, and
Yeah.
there were some that were good comments that we will, you know, directly address. There were a lot that were what I would call bookkeeping comments, things that have to be done in the future, things that we know have to be done, that we don't need to be told have to be done. So I wouldn't just go by the accounting method of saying that there's 55, because a lot of them are very easily addressed.
Yeah, usually he mixes in little ones with the big ones. And
There were some big ones,
yeah, there's
that's
some
for
big ones in
sure.
there. And also the drainage consultants, he had a problem with the drainage.
Yeah, and Mr. Brenner mentioned that we spent some time going back and forth with them. I don't think it's a fair review. Those comments, if we don't want to go through them like nuts and bolts here, they're very minor comments. There's nothing there of substance that decides that the system doesn't function, okay? So We tried to convince them of that unsuccessfully, but I take issue with those comments, and especially with the conclusion. Some of the comments in there were in fact included in the documentation that was provided. So if there were 12 of them there, telling me that I have to sign and stamp a preliminary report I'm not going to really count that as, getting to the function of the system that we spent weeks designing.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we depend on their comments to
I
decide if
understand the
drainage is,
process, and
an issue.
I spoke quite a lot about it in the last day since we received the letter, and I disagree with the conclusion of the letter. I disagree with a lot of the comments in there. A few of them are bookkeeping level comments, but we'll address them, and I'm confident that we can make a system that's going to work here.
All right, good. I know Lisa mentioned that the planning board submitted comments to the town board. She brought up the issues with Ellsworth Drive, but we also made a comment that changing from R80 to R15 would be too drastic. Instead of changing from R80 to R40 zone should be considered. That's what we put forward as a board to the town board. So we realize it is a drastic change, especially for the neighbors to the south. While you mentioned your butt in R15, across the street is R40, on the other side is R80, to the north is R40. So it is a drastic change for the area, and it's kind of out of what was used to over there, So we got to take into account the effect on the neighbors, especially to the south, that invested their properties in this area that they never realized an R80 would become an R15, So, while you have a 15-foot buffer, I mean, that's not gonna do anything really. So, with those driveways coming into the cul-de-sac here, that might ease some of the problems for the neighbors that are still existing over there. I mean, I know you're coming back, you don't have to answer, just some ideas. Also, the highway department, Rockland County Highway Department, had an issue with lot number 2. It says the intersection of Western Highway and Lieber Road has a drainage issue during the rain events. The land adjacent to the intersection is a wetland. Highway Department believes keeping the lot adjacent to the intersection for stormwater runoff mitigation would benefit for the drainage improvements at the intersection. So they're saying, leave this lot number 2 undeveloped, and it'll help out with the drainage in that area, as well as you won't be encroaching on the wetlands.
So
While we wait on the DEC approval, we know that our comprehensive plan talks about our town protecting wetlands, not building over them, not filling them in. So I think getting rid of lot number 2 is a good start to, easing a few of the drainage issues, and the comments from the Highway Department and Rockland County also mentioned that lot number 2 should be left alone.
do you want me to address that? Or?
Yeah, I'm just making comments. I know you're coming back, but yeah, you can do it.
I mentioned the drainage issue in answering other comments. We're going to fix an existing drainage issue. The drainage issue starts from developments on the easterly side of Western Highway that, as far as I am aware, never had any stormwater management. And all of those properties were allowed to just have sewers constructed that discharged onto this private property. In effect, that created a wetland. I don't think this wetland, I'm not a wetland expert, but I don't think this wetland would exist if not for the inflow from those developments that were not required to provide their own stormwater management. So we're fixing an existing problem there. The Highway Department acknowledges the problem. It's their road. They haven't fixed it. We're going to fix it. So we are making a benefit there. I will disagree with their contention that leaving land vacant on private property is something that should be done to solve the problem that they've neglected to solve on their own, so.
But isn't that what you're doing with lot number 1, with private property? You're leaving it vacant for the
Lot
greater
number
good of
one
the
is for
area?
this is to offset what we're doing on this development, on our own
And
property.
there's an argument to say lot number 2 would help that as well, with the drainage and,
That's a fair argument. To what degree is the requirement to design it is that there's a stormwater manual that sets the guidelines and the requirement. If we can do it without, and still build on lot number 2, we can build on lot number 2.
There was a subsequent letter from the county highway identifying and saying very basically, this will solve their problem. So therefore, they then turned their position. They wrote one letter one way and then they wrote a subsequent letter when they took a look at it, and they saw that this will solve their problem.
All right, because they didn't submit any letters for this meeting, so if we can get some letters from them, that might help things out.
They have to, it's part of the requirement.
Yeah, we didn't have any in the packet. Another thing that was mentioned, landscaping plans. You know, you gotta submit landscaping plans.
That's all later on. I brought that up already.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna add to that I believe before we can vote on anything, with the plans, a landscaping plan should be submitted. Like Mike Mandel said, how many trees are being removed, how many's remaining, also how many being replanted, you know, just so we get a sense, because removing all the trees along wetlands, you know, it's definitely gonna have an environmental effect, so we like to see how many being removed, and, you know, replacing trees is always a good plan. I guess my last comment is, when you come back, bring a full board presentation, you know, there's a lot of public interest.
Yeah.
And I know they're trying to follow along with our quick questions, and they don't have these plans in front of them, so if you put them up next time, they can follow along and see what we're talking about.
Now I know, like I said, I haven't been to the meetings in this room. They used to be placed on the wall for the public in the old room.
Yeah, sometimes we can use,
I thought they would be on the
it's a
screen.
big old TV
so
there.
We will do that.
We will correct it. We will correct that Jay Greenwell was the one that had the PDF, I guess we call, which can go on the screen. Jay could not make the meeting tonight. He will be available at the next meeting, and it all will be on the board.
All right, no, that's all I got tonight.
Thank you. Bruce, questions or comments?
Yeah, just the T turnaround, I mean, obviously that has to be able to handle a fire truck. I don't know whether that's gonna be capable of doing that, you know, even you pushing it up, you know. Have to attempt to access it off the,
The cul-de-sac will accommodate the fire truck in the new cul-de-sac. Ellsworth Drive is existing, it's in existing condition, we're improving it. I'll have to check if there was enough room left in that carve-out to put the T that would accommodate the fire truck. I think it's just enough, but I'll have to check. But
We did not want to make a through street. There was some kind of thoughts of making it a through street to get the traffic through. It would be a bad shortcut, and that's the reason we're saying leave it as a T. There was one thought of making it a through street, and we said no. We didn't think that was the right thing to do because it would be a shortcut for traffic coming that way, going through that way to avoid the Western Highway Complex. Right, so that's why it was done that way, but there was some
you
thought.
gotta access them, if you can't do that T turnaround, you're gonna have to access them off this cul-de-sac.
Okay, anything else? Okay. Yeah, good.
Okay, just a couple of quick things. Since there's a question about, does the fire truck have maneuverability, should be added to one of the plans, you get the size of the truck from the fire inspector. I think that would make sense right off the bat, because if it can't, then if we had to reconfigure something, that would throw the plans right out, so might as well do that as a condition to do that. And just one comment on the other things. The comments we sent to the planning board was not unanimous comments on to whether it should be off 80, off 40, or off 15. To the town board, there were mixed reviews on that.
Right.
And as far as Bruce Peters' comments, 99% of the comments that he gives, I agree with, so. Some people don't agree with some of his things, I agree with I agree with most of his things. Just for the record that it's out there clear. Thank you.
Tom, I just have
Yeah, go ahead.
one question. There's been a lot of talk about the wetlands and how lot number 2 infringes on the wetlands. I noticed that you have a 20-foot side yard on the north side, northwest side, and a 30-foot side yard on the other side, which equals a total of 50-foot side yard. Does the wetlands have, by impeding that, does the wetlands have anything to do with that? Does it lessen the total side yard, I guess, for Rick and Rick? No? So, all right. I'm good.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm gonna open up to the public now, make a motion.
Motion to open public portion, Mandel.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay, anybody who wishes to speak, please, you're more than welcome to come up, step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and There's a lot of people here. I don't know how many people want to speak, but we're going to limit you to 3 minutes, okay? So whomever first, come on up. Name and address for the record, please. Okay. Hold on just a second. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I was also thinking, since you cannot really do secret today, you're not going to be voting on
Correct.
anything. You may want to let everyone know that this is going to have to come back, so this is, nothing's going to be voted.
I was going to do that once everybody got finished talking about it, okay?
Well, I was thinking before, so they know it's not
Okay, I'll let
necessarily
everybody
essential.
know. There's not going to be a decision made on this tonight. I'm hoping that the applicant will ask for a continuation, so there will be. So they're going to come back many times. As you can see, there's a lot of questions that have to be asked without knowing what your questions are. And has to be a lot to be resolved, so take that into consideration. They will be back. Again, nothing will be decided tonight, other than they have to come back. Okay? Yes, sir. What's your name, sir?
Dennis Buckley, 36 Ellsworth Drive in Blauvelt. Buckley. 36 Ellsworth Drive.
Yes, sir.
Given the town board downzoned it from 80 to 15, we were surprised at that, and we don't feel that it should be accessed from Ellsworth Drive. We agree with this board's, or some members of the board's recommendation to the town board to not have access from Ellsworth Drive, and if there is going to be building, only from Western Highway. We are very concerned about the narrowness of the street and the ability for any emergency vehicles to gain access, come down, and turn around.
Well, as you can see, that's the board's consideration.
Yes,
Concern,
yes.
okay? We have to see what the applicant comes back with, okay? Most likely, it will stay, a T-turnaround and not a through street, okay?
Very good.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to do that. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is James McCaffrey. McCaffrey. 28 Ellsworth Drive, Blauvelt, New York, 10913. Listen, I am glad to hear this board thinking about R15 and R40, because we were really shocked by the town board putting through the R15 when it was R80 to begin with. We feel it was really unjust, inappropriate, and done for profit reasons more than anything else, not to think about the environment, not to think about the traffic. The people on the town board say, oh, there's no traffic. Go down Western Highway on a busy day. It's like Broadway, and they want more housing there. Each house will now have 2, 3, maybe 4 cars. You're adding 80 cars on a street that's very narrow, windy, rural. That's my point on the R40, and I'm glad to see you're considering that. However, I have nothing against building. If the code was changed back to another thing and they review it, fine. But let's review also, that was natural wetland from day one when they built the reservoir 100 years ago, whenever that was. So it's natural wetlands, there's drainage all over that place, and it all goes into the reservoir. I've lived there for 40 years. I've seen a lot of wonders there, a lot of different things, and a lot of flooding. So just be careful, that's all I say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Don Gable, 683 Western Highway, Gabel. 683 Western Highway. I'm going to have to chop this up a little bit because some of the things were addressed already, but I spoke to the Region 3 biologist who takes care of things like this in the wetlands, and she sort of informed me that it is their jurisdiction. There are 11 new criteria. One of the first ones is that, are you in an urban area? Yes, we are mapped by the DEC as an urban area. So the answer to your question you're waiting 90 days for is yes. There's a 100-foot buffer, no more filling in 1/10 of an acre. So all projects, the site plan and the site would have to be reviewed by the DEC prior to even moving forward and looking at permits. Had a nice conversation with her. So that would also say Lot 2, which has a little wetland on it and was within 100 feet, can't be built on. or whatever, you have to do something different. And also the detention pond is within 100 feet. So these are problems with space that are kind of going to be, if you don't hear about them now, you can listen to me, or you'll find out about them shortly when you get some of these letters back. The Rockland, or the Project Review Committee, number 3, if you read it at all, strongly agrees with the fact that this is overdevelopment, which is my conclusion listening tonight and everything, that this is overdeveloped, and that a solution to the Ellsworth, the 2 driveways that dump out into an intersection, is that good? Come on. This is just common sense. I live right across the street. I watch that intersection every day. And the amount of trucks coming down the road to all that industry at the other end, increased foot traffic is insane since COVID. So there's a lot of safety issues. Where's the drawback on the entrance to the road like Shorn Drive? I don't see that in the plan. All these things would take away from the property that is developable. So I agree, I think this should be revisited, and it's vastly, vastly overdeveloped. And we see it, it's an environmentally sensitive area. Wayne Gavioli went through a lot of effort to have this area preserved as R80, went to the high courts. That was all just lost on people. Wonder why that was. He said it was a lot to do with the environment. And I agree, that is wetlands, it always has been. It just happens to start right there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. State your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Liz Dudley, Orangeburg, New York. 250 South Greenbush Road in Orangeburg. Okay. First of all, thank you for your dedication to this town with your volunteering on this board, taking our time to properly understand this project and how it will impact our town now and in the future is a right path forward. Complaining otherwise is just plain silly, but expected from council. So, we can build anything. The problem comes with the aftermath of what we destroy. I would like to use Florida as an example of overdevelopment that is not aligned with the landscape. Residents are now dealing with insurance skyrocketing or being completely dropped. I just wanted to use that as like a small example. Thank you for your time. Thank you for asking the tough questions. I think the zoning was really aggressive, especially for a pristine forest. We should be doing our best to protect that and protect that for our children. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. State your name and address for the record.
Patricia Shalvey, 34 Ellsworth Drive. Shalvey. 34 Ellsworth. So I appreciate the board considering the Ellsworth Drive issues that we currently have. I think that a lot of you touched on concerns that we have, whether it's, we couldn't get a bus down our block for our kids to get picked up. It's, again, the parking is an issue, the fire safety or fire hazard, the snow removal. Nobody's touched on the quality of life for the people living on Ellsworth Drive for the sake of 2 more houses that they want to squeeze into their, and again, property that they have every right to build on. But at what point in time do you take a step back and say, what about the community that's already there for the last 20 years? Where are we going to go when preserving the community for the sake of those houses now runs the rest of us off of Ellsworth Drive? Because I know I work nights, I work days, my son works nights, days. There's a few people on the block that this is going to impact. What's going to happen with trucks? Are they going to go up and down Ellsworth Drive? Are they going to use us as a byway? Stretch it out. Why aren't they? They're not using Ellsworth Drive as a cul-de-sac for some reason. I don't know. Is it, less property for them to build on? I'm not sure. I know for us, for the sake of 2 houses, we're asking you to reconsider those 2 properties. It's going to change the whole landscape of what's there now and the community that we live in. I think it's something to be considered when you can take that road off of Western and build those driveways off of the driveway that they're gonna do there instead of uprooting 8 or 10 families that are currently on Ellsworth Drive. So that's, I hope you do consider that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir. State your name and address for the record, please.
Henry Wemmer, 107 Sunset. W-E-M-M-W-E-M-M-E-R. 107 Sunset. Thank you. Thank you all. I had asked at the town hall meeting about the drainage issues and the rain detention pond, how I gave other locations that are in really disrepair. Monsignor Brady, for one, that's a disaster. I saw something recently that you rented goats now to clean by the sewage plant, and they were gonna put them now in these rain detention ponds. Is that true?
I don't know.
To maintain them? It's on the YouTube videos. So, and I'm just curious, if they're donating a piece of property that has to be maintained by the town, why would we take that piece of property as Orangetown? Okay. No, well, the same as when I sent emails in and when I asked next door, I never got any answers, and that's why now I'm bringing it here. Because you guys seem more interested than they were next door. So,
Well, I don't know what you want to say. If this gets developed, part of it is the supply and retention area for
Right.
stormwater.
At whose cost?
Their cost.
Their cost, but they're donating the property to Orangetown, I believe.
And they build the retention basin.
And who pays to maintain it?
The town maintains it, but it's basically cutting grass.
Well, Jimmy Dean says they don't cut the grass and they don't trim the trees unless there's a
Well,
stoppage or a problem.
Right, they usually don't. They just let Mother Nature take over.
Right.
'Cause
And
Mother
boy, does
Nature
it.
will absorb the water and everything else.
Right. And then the repair of the road, because that point at Lieber Road and Western has been a problem. I'm here 30-plus years, has been a problem with water, as we all see. I'm sure you've gone and viewed it. And I asked if the builder, which I feel should pay for the correction, and they said tonight that they will, and it won't be laid on the town and or the state for the,
Right,
stormwater and such.
right.
Okay. So that will be on them.
Yes.
Cost-wise.
They said that they were handled the repair and installed.
I also heard him mention how he was in touch with the state, and I listened to him, and it sounds a little fugazi, that's all.
Well, they're just waiting for some more information from
Okay.
DEC.
All right, very good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Joy Macy, M-A-C-Y. Joy, J-O-Y. And my address is 688-690 Western Highway. And I abut this property. And for some reason, I have not gotten any letters notifying me of any of these meetings. So I would like that to be fixed. And then I've been looking at the general municipal law review of the county, and there were lots of things brought up. That was dated May 29. For one thing, Western Highway is a very busy, narrow county road, and it's also a very environmentally sensitive land. And for one of the things, it's, Western Highway is really busy. Everybody drives too fast. They come down that hill really fast. They've smashed into my property several times. There's more bicycles and pedestrians, so I'm concerned about that. And I'm concerned about, the safety issues and the sight lines. And then I'm also concerned about the wetlands, and I feel, we've all been talking about that. And to me, and from what they say, I feel like Lot 2 should also be part of the wetlands. I've lived there for over 25 years. It is wet. It's a stream down there. Like today, it's a stream. And of course, it floods at the intersection. It floods on my property. It floods on Western Highway. And it's a bigger issue than just, a storm drain. So I feel like we need that other lot to be preserved. And I'm also concerned about, keeping all the trees in that area and protecting as many trees as we can to protect the wetlands. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Kathy Buckley, Buckley, 36 Ellsworth Drive. I was here for your meeting. Okay. I was here for the pre-planning meeting last month, and I want to say, and I want to thank Bruce. I think he did a great job, spent a lot of time. And tonight I also want to thank Lisa, Denise, and Mike. And I just want to correct the engineer that you're not going to be improving Ellsworth Drive. Okay. You're not going to be improving our street, so don't even say that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, anyone else?
James McCaffrey again, 28 Ellsworth Drive. I can only speak once. All right, just want to make sure that you look at all these 19 statements made by the county, by the okay? A lot of them are drainage, sewage, all that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Michelle Brisson. B as in boy, R-I-S-S as in snake, O-N as in Nancy. 690 Western Highway. So it's actually been heartening to hear a lot of your good questions. I'm concerned about access and maneuverability for emergency vehicles, the narrowness of Ellsworth, the trees, but I'm really, and that you guys even brought up the whole drastic drop from R80 to R15, which, broke a lot of hearts in the room, and that you recognize that. I think that's, I appreciate that. So I'm just going to read a couple of notes that I prepared that I just feel I want to say. So the destruction of trees with development is inevitable. I would hope that the builders could perhaps minimize the tree destruction, because trees work in conjunction with the wetlands to maintain a healthier environment for all of us and cleaner water. And we know that those wetlands all lead to the Hackensack River, which provides drinking water, public drinking water. And if there is planting of trees or shrubs, I certainly hope, as it was mentioned in one of the documents you guys have, that we would focus, that the builders would focus on native plants and shrubs. And I really like the idea that was brought up of Lot 2 being left undeveloped, because Mother Nature usually does a better job of taking care of things than we do. I'm glad that there is the wetlands, but I also think, the 100-foot buffer zone, they said tonight that that doesn't count for federal wetlands, but I would hope that we would observe that. I would support the builders revising their plan and eliminating one or two of these large houses and maybe reconfiguring the lots for better street access. It would not only make sense in terms of the character of our community and environmentally, but it is something that the builder could do to work with the community that exists there already. I hope this planning board continues to ask good questions and pushes back a little bit for all of us. Thank you for your work.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have any questions or comments, or want to say anything? Yes, sir. Step up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Tommy Shalvey, 34 Ellsworth Drive. Shalvey. V is in Victor. 34 Ellsworth Drive. Just like my neighbors, I went to a lot of the town board meetings. And from the first meeting, we knew we weren't going to get anywhere with them. They needed kids for the schools. They needed more taxes. They had so many excuses from day one. we weren't gonna get anywhere. You guys seem a little bit different at the moment. So hopefully, think about what everybody said tonight. I agree everything, what all these guys said tonight. Think about what they said. Hopefully, you'll make the right decision for the people that live in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else? Last time, anyone else wish to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Michelle Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick, 35 Ellsworth. So I just wanted to say it's refreshing to hear the questions that you're asking, and, you know, I feel like we're all on the same page. So just to reiterate what everyone's saying, my driveway is one of those driveways on the T, and I don't know how much room you're gonna need to get a fire truck to turn around in that street, but a ton. Snow plows is another issue I have. My block is very narrow, as we stated before. There's no way you can park two cars across from one another on that block. If my neighbors want to park on the street and a fire truck or something needs to come down that road, good luck. It's just going to be very tight. So I'm hoping you would reconsider the zoning on that, on Ellsworth. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this? One more time. Anybody else wish to speak on this?
Where did you get this from?
Hearing none, a motion to close the public session. Motion to close public portion. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay. Mr. Brenner, you can see that the board has a lot of concerns and the public have a lot of concerns.
Yes, and as I said in the beginning of the meeting, we will be asking for continuation to answer your questions.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Excuse me? Yeah. Oh, by the way, just some of the members, people that come up, asked us if there was any way that we could change the zoning from 15 back to 40. We can't do that, the town board does that, okay? That was their decision, not our decision. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Kathy, do you have an extra copy of this?
Couple minutes to clear out, we got other business.
Short memory. How'd you think it did? I didn't see it sneak in. These people got short memories. I said these people got short memories.
Yeah, I understand. But let's see what happens now. If we get them in. All right, we got more business. We have a letter dated amendment to Chapter 43 zoning and accessory structures, additional bulk regulations exception. So, do we just let this go for local determination?
Does
or-
anybody have comments?
Does anybody have any comments on it?
Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't call this local determination.
No, it's a motion.
town board.
It's a motion for the lead agency.
Yeah, we agreed to them being lead agency.
So the motion would be, there's no objection to the Orangetown Town Board acting as lead agency in regards to the referral, proposed local law, amendment to chapter 43 zoning, accessory structures, additional bulk regulations, and exceptions as per page 2 of the May 21st, 2025 referral to us.
I'm glad I got you here with me.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? All right.
Minutes?
Yeah, we just have one change in the minutes. The young lady at the end over here, they spelled her name wrong, so we have to spell her name correctly,
As amended.
as amended, okay?
What was the date of the minutes? Motion to approve minutes of May 28th, 2025 as amended.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't here, so abstain.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, okay, we got Lisa is abstaining from the, okay. All right.
All right, we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
No meeting next?
Yes.
Well, it's good, because it's TZ high school graduation.